It looks like that'll be Monday at current sales rates because I just, a year ago said, hey, when, the summer starts and the allergy season gets really bad in some areas, I want a 20% lung cleanse special. A lot of this is already pre-programmed into the shopping cart. So that special started, but we have a limited supply of it. And so it will be sold out by Monday at current sales rates. Introduce yourself to this very low price, high quality product. It's $23.96 at $20 off. Other competitors are just 2 or 3 essential oils and maybe some menthol to halfway numb your throat. This is close to 20. Totally organic, cold pressed, over the top, awesome ingredients. And there's no other system out there. I've tried a lot of them when I've been speaking too much and my voice is too raspy and my voice is going out. They don't help me. This does help. And it does have menthol as well. That's the last ingredient. But it's got organic peppermint essentials, organic chaparral leaf, organic lobelia, organic, it goes on and I can't pronounce half of these, organic orange peel. It's got proprietary blend. It's got just a whole bunch of eucalyptus oil, organic lugwort, organic oregano, organic plantain, organic. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's so good. And it's 20% off right now at InfoWarsLife.com. And the small profit we make helps fund this operation. We're also going to be ending it next week, the special on the new Alexa Pure Breeze air filter systems. Competitors are $400 to $500, some of them $1,000 for something that has the exact same specs. This is 25% off out of the gates, $184 for a filter that should be $400. That'd be low priced. Alexa Pure Breeze, InfoWarsStore.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. I'm Alex Jones. Stay with us. Second hour, Roger Stone and more coming up in studio. Peter Schweitzer, who heads up Breitbart, has written the best-selling book, Clinton Cash. It's now been turned into a film that's about to come out. And he'll be joining us for about 20, 30 minutes coming up at the start of the next segment. Then Roger Stone is going to be in studio with us, and he's got a lot to talk about, obviously, and we're going to be doing some interviews over the weekend as well that everyone is going to want to stay tuned for. Everything Stone has told us has been basically spot on. I mean, it's actually crazy when I think back. What has he told me that hadn't been accurate? And it's all been just dead on, scary accurate. Very, very exciting that Trump has taken the gloves off and is calling Hillary Clinton a criminal now and saying she should go to jail. Not just crooked Hillary and laughing about it. He's saying she's a crook, she's a criminal, she needs to go to jail, and here's the crime she's committed. That's how you devastate criminals, is you break their facade of infallibility, their facade of invincibility, and Hillary's facade has fallen. Trump has destroyed Hillary Clinton. It's now happening. She may be able to try to lash out and bring him down somehow, but at this point, I'm telling you that just like the allegory of Force 10 from Navarone, which is a composite of true stories, part 2 of The Guns of Navarone. It's a good movie with Harrison Ford in it. I was seeing when I was like 3 years old. But the point is that they bombed the dam to flood the river to stop the German advance in a battle in the Balkans. And they bomb the dam and it doesn't fall right away. And they says, just give it some time. And about 10 minutes later, the cracks form, the pressure forms, the dam collapses. And I'll use another analogy. Spock in Wrath of Khan gets radiated, and he says, let's get him out there to save his life. And they go, he's dead already. It's what's the word for it? Pyrrhic victory. Hillary can only have a Pyrrhic victory now. In fact, the more Machiavellian side of me that I never use, but I do look into, so I can see how the globalists are thinking and operating. And beyond that, of course, that's only a beginning level. They make it so complex, the fraud, that soon they don't even know where they are in this ethereal fog of baloney that they spew out. But there really is no way for Hillary to put herself back together again like the proverbial Humpty Dumpty. Even if she gets into office, she will wreck the whole system. She won't be able to push through martial law. The woman thing, that gimmick will wear off even faster than Barack Obama gimmick will wear off. And if the establishment was smart right now in a sick way, I say justice be done, may the heavens fall. But at the same time, so I'm supporting Trump, even though there's some risk there and some problems, and it's not a perfect path out of this. It's just a manifestation of populism. if they let Trump get in, imploded the economy, which they're planning to do, blame it on nationalism and decisions he made, then they could try to dent populism and somehow recast it as bad and discredit it. But they're so arrogant, they want to maintain control and are really going to try to stop him. So this is not some super sophisticated deal to put Trump in and he doesn't know he's being set up. That's being discussed now because they think they might not be able to stop him, and that'll be their plan B. But that's where the pieces are on the chessboard if you ask old Alejandro Jones. So we're going to be talking with Roger Stone about that as well and a lot more. We'll talk about keys to victory. We'll talk about the Never Trump movement that has died like a Hillary Clinton book. Nobody wants to buy those. We're also talking about the women's issues, Broderick, Willie, and others. We'll talk about financial institutions, super PACs, vice president, Cleveland Convention. They're establishing guidelines to make it difficult to get our permits. I knew that was coming, trying to block us from getting in there. San Jose, violent Trump rally, protesters. You know, I love how they're going to try to keep the press, the real press that has bigger audiences than CNN out, or even people that are real delegates. All the action's outside anyways. You keeping us outside is what certifies us as good. I mean, they just don't get it. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Stone is here in Austin, Texas, the consummate Trump insider. He's going to be in studio with us for an hour and a half. Then Anthony Gucciardi takes over the fourth hour. We'll have Joe Biggs and Michael Zimmerman, our reporters on the ground in Irvine, where the rioting looks like it's already starting on their feeds. Those feeds are up on Infowars.com. That's all because the tech editor of Breitbart decided that he'd go speak at a couple of universities, and this is day 4 of the hysteria, as people with Mexican flags and eggs beat up women. And, of course, the men, the reporters, the police all just stand around and allow it to happen. And we've got the mayor and others saying this is what you deserve. That was in San Jose yesterday. This is what you deserve because Trump is evil. I mean, even if I didn't support Trump, which I do overall, I have some issues with him. How about the First Amendment? I mean, this is really a scary time to see where these people are going. And in Europe, and you name it, they're trying to arrest people. They're trying to put in EU-wide laws for government ID of the internet to track and tax you. That's up on drudgereport.com right now, our Infowars.com story. But speaking of Breitbart, Peter Schweitzer is our guest at the bottom of the hour. Breitbart.com, g-a-i.org. I'm not going to go over his whole long bio. He's pretty well-known journalist and fellow out there and heads up Breitbart. I want to talk about the state of the internet, the state of this country, the state of the world, where Hillary wants to restrict our speech, but she can get $100 million from Gulf states that chain women up and put, bags over their heads. This is really a time when it looks like they're making their move to try to take over this country. And he's written the best-selling book, Clinton Cash, that he'll break down, that's about to premiere at Cannes, based on the New York Times best-selling book, the most feared book of the presidential cycle, Clinton Cash. So what are they so scared of? Because it's not just having modern leftist brown shirts beat women up in California on TV, and local TV defends it. I mean, that's in the news, Infowars.com. We have links to mainstream news. It's not just that. Now it's try to shut off the money to libertarian and conservative and constitutionalist groups. Don't give them tax exemptions or take them away, but then let Hillary get money from dictators. I mean, they're making their move, in my view, but I want to ask Peter Schweitzer his view on this and to ask him the question, is liberty winning or is tyranny winning in this football game? I mean, how would he boil this down when we look at the different forces that are at play here? Peter, thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, great. Thanks for having me, Alex. I always enjoy being on with you.
You bet. I think this is your second or third visit with us. Let's talk about Clinton Cash and now turning into a film and why this is so important.
Well, I think it's important for a couple of reasons. First of all, we follow the money. This is something that you would expect mainstream journalists to do. They talk about money in politics all the time. But the fact of the matter is no one has gone and dissected who gave the Clintons money, why they gave them money, and when they gave them money. And by the way, Alex, what's I think so troubling and compelling about the Clinton case is we're not just talking about Wall Street or big oil or the traditional sources of money in American politics. What we're talking about is foreign governments, foreign dictators, and foreign financiers. This is a way where foreign entities have figured out a way around U.S. laws that prevent them from giving money to political candidates. They can now put it in the Clintons' pockets through speaking fees or give it to the Clinton Foundation and curry favor and access that way.
And then, of course, I know Breitbart, other than Drudge, is probably the main victim of Facebook censorship. We have enjoyed it as well, where we send out a meme that's PG rated, and they suspend us for 3 days. The founder of Pirate Bay came out on Monday and said, look, Facebook is a multi-billion person nation, and its dictator is Zuckerberg, who is anti-free speech. And that's a leftist saying that about Zuckerberg. I mean, this is something everybody should be worried about.
Yeah, I mean, control of the media and who really determines what gets shown as trending on Facebook, what's shown on the evening news is vitally important. And here's the problem, Alex. It's one thing if there were some balance, but just look at this issue of the money flowing to the Clintons. We talked, for example, in Clinton Cash, we have 2 chapters on the fact that the Clintons got $145 million from investors in this small uranium company that needed Obama administration approval to sell uranium in the United States to the Russian government. Okay, that's an important story. And in fact, even the New York Times ran a 4,000-word front page piece confirming all of it. They ran that piece last year when Clinton Cash was published. Hillary Clinton has not been asked a single question about that by any mainstream media reporter. You would think if there was a 4,000-word front-page investigative piece in the New York Times on Bernie Sanders, on Donald Trump, on Ted Cruz, whoever you want, they would be asked that question. But somehow with the Clintons, they never get asked these very basic, simple questions about follow the money.
And it's basic sovereignty issue. I mean, what is the elite thinking? You've written for some of the most powerful publications out there that the elite go by: Foreign Affairs, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, National Review. And what I think is important about your leadership at Breitbart that I really have enjoyed seeing develop is that you guys are just really going for populism and the truth. America is being conquered right now. Yeah, it sounds sensational, but they're announcing world government. I mean, the truth is this is happening, and we have a choice to make. Are we going to be ruled by multinationals and the Saudis and the communist Chinese and all these combines, or are we going to be ruled by the vote in this republic? And I just think that, thank God your book has been used as a roadmap the last year, now about to be a film, now being released, to force this serious debate about, is there any line in the sand for the establishment? Because, even when guys like you, I don't want to say you're establishment, but you're, a conservative, well-known, guy that, the establishment listens to. I mean, what are they saying at this point? I mean, because I know the military, I talked to high-level brass who are currently in, they are freaking out about what's going on. Has America reached a tipping point in awakening is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting things going on in this election. You alluded to it earlier. I mean, I have not been, a completely rabid, Trump supporter. There's some things that he said that I don't necessarily agree with, but it is impossible to ignore the fact that the issues that he is raising on issues like sovereignty, on issues relating to the American middle class, that they are no longer being represented in Washington, D.C. anymore. And you could say the same thing with Bernie Sanders. I don't agree with Bernie Sanders on probably anything, but you've got to give him a lot of credit. He is touching on these very same themes. And this is a trend that we've seen, Alex, over the last 20 to 30 years. It's been written about by everyone from Harvard faculty members to conservatives and libertarians. We have a trend in this country that many of the elites in the United States today in both political parties, frankly, have more in common and have a closer identity with elites in other countries than they do with people in their own country. They feel that they have more in common with elites in Brussels or in Beijing than they do with the elites that live in Des Moines or Bakersfield. And that is a problem.
I want to talk about the film with you and how important it is premiering in Cannes. I mean, this is a big deal. Because if folks think, your book's already almost brought down the Clintons and others and exposed this destruction of our sovereignty, this takeover, imagine it being a blockbuster like 2016. Hopefully they won't, arrest you or the filmmaker, like they've done Dinesh D'Souza. And then I want to talk to you about the EU proposed government ID to use the internet in the new European Commission draft report, because this is a dictatorship. They just issue these reports and then they bounce them around and they become, quote, law. So they're dropping the hammer. But first, let's talk about the film.
Yeah, the film is really basically an attempt to make the